I'm Chylli from channel Chylli, also known as Try, and we are back to finish the rest of the crossover event here. We only got 3 levels left, and I feel like this is probably the final boss, so... Actually, it does not use modules. I don't know, I feel like the last one will use modules, so there might be one more after this as well. This is the doctor, researcher at Rhode Island. Nice to meet you. When I, after everything we went through, finally had the chance to meet the doctor of Rhode Island, I realized that I'd been building a vastly different image of them in my mind based on the name alone. I was thinking they were going to be someone like Yisong, Faust, or Hohenheim from the LCA. But the first impression of them was similar to what I felt when I met a K-Corp employee. The clock just ticked, and this is Dante, a manager at Limbus company. That ticking just now was nice to meet you. Okay, thanks for accompanying Amiya. Honestly, I was pretty worried when we all separated at the border. I should thank you and Amiya, actually. We would have been in a real pickle without her, so... It's a bit embarrassing to repeat that myself. Dante says that we would have been in a real pickle without Miss Amiya. Sorry, Manager Bud, I can't talk human, so you don't worry about it. We'll take over the translation. It's incorrect to state that the manager cannot talk human. A more accurate assessment would state that the manager is incapable of assessing sonic means of communication, which includes verbal communication. However, they are capable of producing repetition of multiple sounds that may register on a similar scale to the ticking of multiple hands. Second hands, minute hands of a clock. I don't know, something about the way Merso put it makes it sound worse. Don't worry, it's not a difficult task when only a single individual has to be translated. Doctor, let us move on to the next steps of the plan. Next steps? Thanks to Limbus Company's efforts, we obtained the exact coordinates of the vessel Mesas and managed to capture the decks with ease. However, Fabius, who is suspected to be a bishop of the deep, and his followers have barricaded themselves inside the bridge's control room. While it may seem as though they're hiding, I believe they're trying to bait us. As in, they're waiting for us to enter the bridge before summoning reinforcements from elsewhere to trap us in a pincer attack. Something like that. The elsewhere is most likely to be the sea, as the reinforcements are more than likely sea terrors. Fabius is a seaborn, and the ocean will answer to the call of their kind. Limbus Company and Irene will head to the bridge and neutralize Fabius. Samia and I will accompany you to provide support and identify the situation within the bridge. In the meantime, Galtzid and the other operators will remain on standby on the ship's exterior at the pre-designated locations, so I'd like to avoid getting surrounded by sea terrors before we manage to take down the Church of the Deep within the bridge. I observed several entry points leading straight to the bridge while we were working on repairing the vessel. Your force doesn't seem numerous enough to close off all of them. It is true that there are many entry points here, but we don't need forces guarding every single one of them, especially here. The hallway is narrow, long, and straight, so... Makes sense to me. How about here? Are you sure you're not overly focusing your forces to a single checkpoint? Let's see, but on closer look, looks like Commanding Officer Otis is finally in our environment. Got any questions, Manager Bud? I have no idea what they're talking about, if I'm being honest. Really, I saw you commanding the sinners earlier. You seem pretty adept at giving orders and making strategic decisions. Indeed, they seem quite adept at making on-the-spot strategic commands and identifying exploitable weaknesses and patterns in their enemies. However, the Doctor and Outsider are operating on fundamentally different fields. No further elaboration is necessary. Agreed, that particular aspect of strategizing is not one of Manager Dante's obligations, and even if there is a chance for them to engage in such elements, it may be too early to do so. Is that so? It is, and at least that is what Faust has judged. What are they on about? I was about to ask that myself. I don't know, I have no idea. Having finished their discussion with the Doctor over the plan, Otis returned, wearing a grim look. Is there something wrong with the plan? No, there wasn't anything wrong with the plan. I expected a certain degree of competency, but they were impressive, far beyond my expectations. Really, that good? Even then, I think back to my days in the line of duty, I can't think of too many like them. Right, so they're dependable. Good enough for me. Have your strategizing's done, let's get cracking. What of you, Miss Mayers? If it's too much to face what awaits, then you need not follow us. I decided to stay here anyway. The Doctor is going to update you in real time on where the safe zones are, so please keep that communicator close to you. I will. Hey, if Gramps, is there something you would like us to do? No, it's nothing. If there's something you want to tell him, contact us through the communicator at any time. We're going to find a way to resolve this as peacefully as we can, but if negotiations break down... Yeah, I know what you mean, Doctor. Be safe, everyone. Leaving Mayers behind with her unfinished sentence, we followed the Rhode Island team into the bridge. The bridge was as gaudily decorated as ever. Fabius, flanked by hooded followers and seafarers, greeted us with a kindly smile. Welcome. I truly did appreciate thy kindness. Wherefore didst thou seek to harm us? If suspicions are certainly justified, but I implore you to think back. If you truly believe that we had sought to harm you, then how would you explain that one peaceful night you had spent in Barra Muerto? We have never wished you any harm. We did not then, and we do not now. Not even a day after your folks stabbed us in the back like cowards, and you want us to believe that? Our wish has always been the same. We only wish to extend the freedom to roam the seas to those capable, kind-hearted souls. May, we know you were just trying to turn us into sea monsters of some kind. Monster is only a name. The essence of its being changes, not regardless of the labels given to it. Become one with the sea, become one with the endless cycle of life, and one day your misunderstandings will end and you will come to understand us. Looks like this fight between us is going to be unavoidable. I pulled out the identity cards the moment I saw Fabius raising his hand. The Doctor seemed to have finished their preparations as well as they and Amia stood opposite of Fabius. Incoming, get ready everyone. Let's stop them here for good, no matter how long it takes. Their strategic formation prioritized reducing sacrifices to the absolute minimum. Their commands sought to protect, sought to defend, and their forces were quick to follow them. Rhode Island's operation was certainly impressive, but that's not exactly our style. All I can do is put my faith in the sinners and push them onward. Our style is, trust me to bring you back no matter how many times they cut you down. Let's wipe them out.
행색이 이상하나 그럼에도 이상이여 내가 맞서 내가 아시의 이상을 함께 줬던 호위 이상이여
불가
시비수에게 명한다.
막아내지 못하리.
이 앞에 숨지는 자 누구 하나 살리게 보내지 마라.
敵に対して大きな打撃を与えました。
이건 예상 못했나 봐.
시도는 좋았어요.
敵は深手を負っています。
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 지워버리죠.
We mainly need SP right now so we can handle these guys easier.
効果的な攻撃でした。 敵は深手を負っています。
흑승묘 뒷박질 중.
바람 불어오는 대로 짓밟아라. 토끼를 본다. 저 해충들을 도려내라.
이제 깨우치시게.
묘야
優れた式ですね。
길을 열어라.
適した攻撃でなくても最善の選択だったはずです。
불쌍하게 울부짖는.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
시도는 좋았어요.
敵は深手を負っています。
이
불가 위야 막아내지 못하리.
Okay, our SP is going up really well right now.
숨통 끊기.
ダンテさんの作戦とても効果的でした。
하나 넘고 둘 넘고 꺾고 제쳐라.
지금은 좋았어요.
깔끔하게 물었군.
このままいけば敵を食い止められます。
시간 끌 것 없이
목을 떨궈주마.
모조리 치워버리죠. 훌륭하군요. 이제 깨우치시게.
바람 불어오는 대로 짓밟아라.
무상한 목숨. 불끈을 지원했군.
このままいけば敵を食い止められます。
불가 위야 막아내지 못하리. 아차 가치 없군. 죽어라.
敵は深手を負っています。
Alright, now we just gotta deal with Fabius now.
흑수묘 뒷박질 준비.
지 목을 떨궈주마.
훌륭하군요. 불가 위야 막아내지 못하리. 이제 깨우치시게. 가치 없군. 죽어라. 시도는 좋았어요.
敵は深手を負っています。
훌륭하군요.
부끄럼을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
아직 죽지 마라.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
무상한 목숨. 불끈한 지원의 돈.
エリートオペレーター並みの腕前です。
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 지워버리죠.
말로 받았다. 저 해충들을 도려내. 넘고 물 넘고 꺾고 제쳐라. 모여 길을 열어. 정작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
틈 끊어.
한 넘고 산 넘고 무수히 넘고 얼마든지 꺾고 제쳐라. 내 앞을
무상한
달리시오. 아시다면 능히 그리할 수 있어.
불끈한 지원의 돈. 숨통 끊기.
깔끔하게 몰았군.
And there we go, we defeated him again. They're pretty persistent. Fabius flees again, using sea terrors and his followers as meat shields. Wait, no, I see it now. It's not Fabius who's putting them in harm's way to save himself. The sea terrors and the cultists are throwing themselves in our way, entirely willing to sacrifice their lives to ensure that Fabius gets away. But for all that, the only place left for him to flee on the ship, wounded and cornered by the sinners and Iran's lamplight, was the decks. Nowhere left to run, Fabius. I understand you can't help but continue to thrash and struggle to live, even knowing that there's no hope. But running will only make your pain worse. That's different. Fabi didn't run to live, a voice echoes from under the dark sky. Mayors appearing quite different from how she did a moment ago. She approaches Fabius slowly. Her expression solemn and mournful, she looks down at him wordlessly. I told you that your methods won't win their understanding, Fabi. What a shame, I thought that those with such wisdom and aptitude would. I hoped you would still be able to realize your ideal here, even after I left. It will be realized. Fabius may die here, but we will remain. Now it is time. Devour me. But Fabius blurted out, threw us off once again, even before we regained our footing from the shock of realizing Mayer's true allegiance. Eat people? Looks like they're about to give us a live demonstration of some gourmet art. I hear it's a pretty common thing in the District 23 backstreets, but I'd rather not see it in person. Hey, I'm just gonna look away, that's okay, right? Just what? Doctor, weaker Seaborns willingly let themselves be devoured by stronger ones, thereby sharing their experiences and nutrients with them. This is a commonly accepted practice among them. It is but a behavior that prioritizes survival over all else. It isn't done in any sense of sacrifice. The time is here. Devour me. Set sail toward your ideal. Sorry, Fabi. I've still got some canned food left for me on the ship, and I think I'll delay becoming a seaborn for a while longer. Why? I found a new destination. I'll gain a new power from there, and then become a seaborn. So now is not yet the time. If that is your will, O Bishop. Don't worry, your flesh will fatten the bloodkin of the sea. Maris waves her hand and sea terrors climb up from the vessel from the ship and begin tearing Fabius to pieces. Despite the way it looked, Fabius looked exhilarated, nary a look of sacrifice or pain wrinkling his face as they ripped his flesh apart. We turned away from the scene. That could not be described as anything else other than cannibalism. No look at Mayers. Jousted, is she? Don't need to ask questions when the answer lies plainly before you, Doctor. What is happening? Wherefore did young Mayers... It wasn't Fabius. Mayers was the Bishop of the Deep.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼군. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍호는 그제야 알게 되겠지. 이 홍로가
They've played us. Don't despair, we still have the upper hand. We defeated Fabius and his cultists already, and even if they were to summon more sea terrors, we should be able to handle them without much trouble. Hey here, what were you thinking the whole time when you deceived us? I had a feeling I knew what she was going to say to that. She was either going to say that it was for our sake, that it wasn't a deception at all. Or maybe she'll give us one final gloating, but her reply, the words of which were carefully selected after gazing out at the far ocean, was not what any of us at all would have expected. I'm sorry. I thought this would be the better way to approach you, but I see that how it has come across as nothing more than deception. You're sorry. Why? Dante wants to know why you're sorry. Well, that's because I did something wrong. Wait, hold on. You've been deceiving us all along, Mayor, so now you're gonna... Wait, what exactly are you after? You're after the same thing that the geezer was, ain't that right? Turn us into your blood cams. It was all for our sake, giving all kinds of ridiculous excuses. To turn us into one of those monsters. I do hope that you would all one day accept becoming Seaborns, but I'm not about to demand that you let yourselves be transformed today, right here and now. I understand that we all need some time to mentally prepare ourselves. May I understand your statement to be implying that you will not be forcing this upon us should we refuse? That's correct. It would be against all manners to do what Fabius did, shoving sea terror cells inside your body out of nowhere. Manners, huh? While I was taken aback by the fact that Mayers was a bishop of the deep, it was also true that Mayers had never tried to bring us harm, unlike Fabius who attacked the sinners directly. While she did almost get us in big trouble with Irene while explaining things to us, it's also true that Mayers has been extremely helpful so far. It was her who led us to the lighthouse, and it was her who stayed in the crumbling lighthouse until the repairs were done, as the terrifying night continued to assail its walls. What was your actual relationship to Fabius, anyway? Just someone who also once strove to realize the visions of our ideal world. Our goals once converged, but not now. I was pretty taken aback too when they attacked you back at the village. Maybe he got greedy when he saw Faust and Otis repairing the ship. He got greedy. Fabius believed that welcoming capable people as Bludgeon would expedite Seaborn's evolution. Cool. So you're like some cold leader, but you don't necessarily want to antagonize us. You still haven't told us what you're after, though. I'm going to the city that lies beyond the dimensional door. So you're trying to flee to a different world where the Inquisition won't be able to chase you. This isn't running away, I just want to help the people of the city, that's all. So I'm bringing the Seaborns with me to the city. Don't tell me you're going to invade the city alongside those monsters that... Then the foghorn suddenly blared and the ship shook as it began to move. Vessel Mesas has begun to move. Is this an automated sailing program? The Vessel Mesas will now sail toward the dimensional door. I'll let Rhode Island and Irene go right in front of the door, so don't worry. Did he seriously just tell us all to not worry? Faust. Please calm yourself, Dante. It has not been determined if that is indeed the dimensional door directly connecting back to the city. No, it has to be. The warm shining light and the voice from within, it is getting clearer and clearer. Why didn't we just let them into the city? The battles thus far have done well enough to demonstrate the level of danger Seaborns pose. However, I doubt they'll get very far if they were to enter the city, don't you agree? And on you on, we've all seen what happens when sapient, sentient, non-human entities enter the city. The head will take action the moment they realize their presence. Of course, we must prepare ourselves for repercussions in case they decide to hold Limbus Company responsible once the dust settles. Yet it is also very likely that we will fully escape any culpability, as we saw in the memories of the Kong massacre. Your thoughts, Faust? Urban Nightmare, however, considering their specific attitudes, it will not take long for them to rise to become a Star of the City level threat. There's a reasonable possibility they may be issued the Imperatus Civitas classification. Is that not an acceptable risk? If not the head, they should be manageable by a wing. That isn't the terrible of a calamity. The Cowstick shook her head resolutely. No, your technology seems to be based on something else, which is neither Oranginium Arts nor any of its derived technology. That is precisely what could make your world vulnerable against Seaborns. Is it because they learn fast? Yes, those on the front lines of the war against Seaborn stubbornly stuck to their traditional low-tech weapons. Deploying high-technology weapons against them is only going to make you an enticing meal. Then can't we just let whichever unfortunate wing that ends up fighting these... Do take into account that it may take a significant amount of time to earn their trust, even if they were to be convinced. There would be other parties with alternative perspectives on the matter, complicating issues. The situation will rapidly grow out of control if backstreet syndicates or fixers get involved, unless the head designates a taboo to prevent it. Even then, considering what she's been saying, yes, we must consider the possibility that they may be capable of absorbing the head's technology as well before they are expelled from the city. How do you plan on helping the people of the city, Mayors? By giving them a chance to become Seaborns. What are you on about? Become Seaborns? She ain't all there, eh? What kind of help is that? Mayors, you know that's no different from what the Church of the Deep is doing here. No, it is different, because someone showered the city with the light. The light? The beam of light from the White Nights and Dark Days incident. How do you... Could it be? Becoming a Seaborn is to become a part of the great will called We Many. By doing so, one can be reborn as an altruistic life form, but at the cost of ego, the sense of self. That has always been my issue with it. Everyone has beliefs of their own, dreams of their own. It feels too empty to lose all of that when they inevitably lose their sense of selves as they become Seaborns. Look, I want each Seaborn to have their own wishes, but the light shining through that dimensional door to our world is too faint to push them toward their evolution. If only the light of the city could become more tangible, they might be able to give every Seaborn an identity of their own, to remain uniquely themselves. Then is that why you advocate toward those of the city to join the Seaborns, when one could simply learn more about the light before returning here? At first I thought all I needed was the clue to a better evolution, but Don Quixote's tales of adventures changed my mind. Mine adventures? You don't understand just how precious you all are. And how would you, when you were born into that kind of world from the very start? A place where life has become a commodity, and gold one of its few religions. The city has abandoned its yesterdays to survive today, and by doing so has given up on its tomorrows. Just as I needed the light, the city needs Seaborns. It needs their tenacious hold on life and their absolute, unconditional selflessness. But at the end of the day, it still means that everyone has to turn into monsters. People ostracize the other, something that isn't like me, something that feels alien to me, something I don't know or understand. So that fear is natural because Seaborns are not human. But you just have to cross that threshold once. Miss Mayors, do you believe the nature of humanity to be evil? Humans are selfish, but that is not necessarily a bad thing. Good things can come from selfishness, that is true. But the side effects have become simply unsustainable. Doctor, you've been to countless battlefields where Rhode Island has fought tooth and nail for the rights of the infected. But what came of it? Peace? No, it's the same, but still, we're all still getting better little by little. I'm not trying to deride those small incremental steps and call them meaningless. Change takes time, and could it continue? And should it continue, I believe your efforts to be a beacon of light that will lead humanity toward a brighter future. But what about everyone who is sacrificed while you're taking your time? Taking those incremental steps. Every single day of that incremental change is marred by unjust deaths. Some are enslaved for no other reason than their differences. People live on in that despair that seems to have no end. I agree with what the light told me. People are diseased. They're so sick that even in the far-flung future, even on the day the world ends, they will continue to fail. To look forward, obsessed with scrutinizing each other in search of those differences. Even when every age here returns to the sea, they're going to bully and hate anyone with pointed ears, labeling them agers. Even when oripathy is fully eradicated, people are going to suspect and persecute someone as the infected. People are imperfect beings. You're right, there probably isn't anyone out there who can really sacrifice themselves for the sake of others with nothing but perfect selflessness. But not when it comes to Seaborns. They don't suffer from all the absurdity, nor are they coerced to sacrifice against their will. They have the power to progress towards a better future born from mutual understanding, because they're the kind of life form that seeks common ground instead of scrutinizing for differences. The bells, a strange-shaped form, shimmers and materializes before Mayors. I couldn't quite tell what it was, but it was round and it looked like a tool. It is possible that she has already met the conditions to effloresce. A possible explanation would be the absence of the particular pull required to draw out of her, or the insufficiency of it. This isn't anything like the arts. What is happening in front of Miss Mayors? Is our proximity to the dimensional door increasing the potency of influences coming over from the city? Precisely, the connection to Faust returning to normal levels seems to indicate that. Wait, can people in other worlds, I mean Mayors, also manifest ego? Internal conflict and anguish is a commonality among every intelligent entity, regardless of whether they're from the city or not. Therefore, yes, Faust is quite positive on this possibility as well. However, what does that mean? The potential to effloresce an ego implies the potential to distort as well. You've been dreaming for a long time, Mayors, drawing your own picture of an idealized world. And you have chosen the ocean as the means to building a path toward that vision. Yet why have you failed to take the leap of faith yourself? I had to make preparations. Seaborns are beautiful, there's no doubt about it. It's just that a key piece was missing to really achieve what I want. You're not being honest with yourself. I know it very well that you were afraid of becoming one of them. The fear of your own creed might crumble, and you might lose your own self, your ego. The fear you might end up becoming nothing more than just another thing swept up by the ineffable, overwhelming will. Isn't it terrifying that this hope can just disappear in a blink? Who is she talking to? Is this something Limbus Company has experience with? If so, I'd appreciate an explanation. She's hearing that voice. When that singular faith that one has absolute confidence in breaks in one fell swoop and their ironclad will is shattered. People of the city have the potential to distort into a monstrous form at any time. It is said that this phenomena is often accompanied by the distorting individual hearing a disembodied voice. Indeed, those who distort would oft behave as though they are engaging in a conversation. Of course, the same could be said for those who awaken ego. At first I thought it was Kathy, but it wasn't her. The voice is beautiful, comforting, and even cozy. The kind of voice that puts all deep contemplation to sleep, so calm and so warm. No, there's more to sunshine than its warmth. The sunshine. You don't share your interests with the other devotees. Survival isn't what you care about. What you really care about is giving everyone a chance to experience what it feels like to live in a world of warmth, ephemeral it may be. Right, we have to be about more than just prolonging our existences. What really matters isn't survival, it's what we leave behind for posterity, our legacy. As long as there's a guarantee that the light can indeed protect the sense of self, it'll be more than enough to convince people to become Seaborns. Please, you don't have to concern yourself with what other people might think, Mayors. But everyone has their own wishes. I cannot just bulldoze over theirs to force mine upon them. But that's not what you really believe, is it? You know that better than anyone. While you hesitate, countless people who are bound to the inescapable bridle will continue to suffer. That might be true, but it's okay. You don't have to hide the shape of your heart, its colors. The only thing you have to concern yourself with is how you can lead the people of the city, and then Terra. Okay, we can't just sit here and let this happen. Operators, to positions. Operators unable to approach. She's surrounded by a strange field, Doctor. Whenever someone would distort due to reasons other than a monolith, a strange pressure would prevent our approach, as though to stop us from interfering. Looks like this applies here too, all the way over in another world. Love is our collective destination after all, so please, let go of this tool that might break your heart. Don't force yourself to walk the path of thorns. Your pilgrimage needn't be that of suffering. No, You don't believe in any recourse, do you? Other than this, anyway. Don't you think we should find a better, faster path with less suffering before more people inevitably hurt each other with their ill intent? You're right. If there's no recourse, that's happen faster. I can't waste any more time while people suffer. Follow your wishes, follow your desires, and paint. Let's show them the painting of your world reflected in your eyes. Before the compassion they believe in becomes completely worthless. I understand the shape of your heart and what makes you want to enter the city. But we still know so little about the Seaborns, about Terra, about Iberia. Whatever may have lit the fire under your feet, I can't bring you with us to the city as you are now. Even before the sinners had the chance to translate my words, Mayor slowly turned in my direction as though she clearly understood my words. But I must, Dante. Your adventures were full of exhilarating tales, and I saw kindness in every word and action of you and your friends, but that's not enough. You don't think they'll change? No, they will, in the far, far future. An incandescent brilliance burst forth from the four mayors. Past that light, I saw the ocean. The calm sound of gently lapping, crashing waves, the immense golden brilliance. That portal, where did it come from? Dungeon of the Fathoms. A gate that leads into one's heart. This periphery is what LCB's department specially begins. While what lies beyond this periphery does not necessarily warrant Rhode Island's presence. Can you guys help? I don't know what kind of fathoms I'm walking into, but I have a feeling that we're going to need your assistance. Dr. Couchson. We're only here to investigate the dimensional door, but I don't want us to turn our backs on people we can help. Rhode Island accepts Limbus Company's cooperation request. I'll go too. You're still in Iberia. I can't let Iberian business be handled solely by outsiders, let alone an incident connected to the Church of the Deep. Don't worry, it's not like this is the first time we're letting someone not in our group into a dungeon of the fathoms. We'll be fine. More sea terrors. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that sea terrors that are swarming the lighthouse are coming this way as well. I'll call Scatty here. You'll be staying behind then? Anya will go with you, Doctor. Following mayors who had already disappeared into the portal, we take our steps into the utopian world beyond. Wow, that was absolutely insane. Like, holy shit, that was actually something else. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's where I'm gonna be leaving it off for today's video. Wow. So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time when we finish off the rest of the crossover event. So yeah, until then, I'll see you next time. Bye!